Enjoy Simple English 森崎ウィンです。毎週水曜日は Japan's Top Inventions。今日の発明は養殖真珠 Cultured Pearls。かつて真珠といえばアコヤ貝に偶然見つかる珍しいものでした。三木本氏は真珠の養殖に乗り出します。しかし成功までの道のりは苦難の連続でした。早速聞いてみましょう。
Until the end of the 1800s, pearls were extremely rare and expensive. To find one pearl, you often searched in over 1,000 Akoya oysters. Today, we find out about a passionate man and his mission to develop cultured pearls. Our story begins in the year 1888 in the Shima area of Mie Prefecture. This area was known to have natural pearls. A man named Mikimoto Kokichi bought pearls from local people and sold them in big cities. One day, when Mikimoto was showing his pearls at a jewelry fair, he noticed a woman looking at them closely. Mikimoto thought,
"If I could grow pearls, more people could buy them."
Mikimoto studied how oysters made pearls. A small object, like a rock, gets stuck in the oyster. To protect itself, the oyster starts to cover the object with material made from its own body. After a long time, this becomes a pearl. Mikimoto started to experiment. He placed small rocks into oysters and left them in the sea for over a year. But his oysters didn't produce pearls. Mikimoto didn't give up. He borrowed money to buy more oysters and continued his experiment with the help of his wife Ume. But one day, a red tide, or akashio, happened. Mikimoto lost most of his precious oysters. Were cultured pearls just a dream? Then Ume said,
"I see something shiny in that oyster."
Inside, Mikimoto saw a pearl in the shape of a half circle. It was stuck to the shell.
How did this happen?
He wanted to find out. He tested by placing small rocks in different parts of the oysters. He soon noticed that the half pearls were made when a rock was placed between the body and the shell. In 1893, Mikimoto succeeded in making large numbers of half pearls. Soon after, he opened a jewelry shop. His half pearls looked good in kimono brooches, but Mikimoto thought,
"For necklaces, I need whole pearls."
So he began experimenting again. During this time, he and his workers produced whole pearls several times, but they didn't know why. Then they noticed something. The whole pearls came from the shells of less skilled workers. They sometimes hurt the oysters when they put in the rocks. Was this the key? Mikimoto's experiments continued. Then finally, they had a new plan. First, they took a piece of skin from one oyster. Then they wrapped the small rock with that skin and placed it inside of an internal organ of another oyster. Then they waited 18 months. Would there be a pearl? The oyster was opened, and inside there was a large, round, shiny pearl. This was how cultured pearls became available worldwide. Because of Mikimoto's hard work, we can enjoy the beauty of shiny, round pearls.
おばあちゃんつけてたなぁ。僕のミャンマーにいるおばあちゃんですよ。この話を聞いてですね、真珠にちょっと興味が湧きました。いつか買いたいなと思います。See you tomorrow! Enjoy Simple English 森崎ウィンです。毎週木曜日は2019年度に放送した Wisdom from the West 古典が語る西洋の知恵としてギリシャ神話から西洋の表現や考えなどを学びます。今回は髪の毛が蛇のメドゥサです。でも彼女の髪はもともと蛇ではありませんでした。どういうことなんでしょう。早速聞いてみましょう。
Do you know about Medusa? You may not know the name Medusa, but you have probably seen a picture of a woman with snakes for her hair. She is in stories told in Greek myths. Some people say that Medusa was already a monster when she was born. But there are other stories about her.Here is one of those stories. Medusa was a very good-looking woman with beautiful hair. But she liked her hair too much. Medusa thought,
I have the most beautiful hair in the world. I am even more beautiful than the goddess Athena.
A goddess is a female god.And Athena was a goddess of wisdom. Medusa's way of thinking made Athena angry. Athena said to Medusa,
Do not compare us. You are a human, and I am a goddess. You must learn. So I will change your beautiful hair into snakes.Medusa's
hair was turned into snakes, and she became a monster. If someone looked at her, they turned into stone. So Medusa lived in a cave. Many men were sent to kill her, but they were all turned into stone when they looked at her. So there were many stone statues of men around her cave. There were even stone statues of animals near her cave, because if they looked at her, they turned into stone too. One day, someone special was sent to kill Medusa. His name was Perseus. His mother was a human princess, and his father was Zeus, the god of heaven. Perseus was sent to kill Medusa by a king.The king wanted to marry Perseus's mother, but Perseus didn't want them to get married. So the king said,
I order you to go and kill Medusa, the bad monster.
And he sent Perseus away. The king thought Perseus would look at Medusa and die, but he was helped by the goddess Athena.She said,
I turned Medusa into a monster, so I will give you this bronze shield to kill her. Use it well.
Perseus went to Medusa's cave. He saw many stone statues of men. Perseus thought,
I don't want to be turned into stone. I must be careful.Medusa
was sleeping. Perseus thought,
I will use this shield so I don't look at her face.
Perseus slowly walked up to Medusa and cut off her head. The monster finally died. Then Perseus took the head of Medusa to Athena.When you see drawings or carvings of Athena, she often has the head of Medusa on her shield or clothing. Now, you know why.
やだ、石になりたくないって子供の頃思ったのをすっごく思い出しました今。はあ、これがメドゥーサだったんですね。それでは、See you tomorrow! It's Friday! Enjoy Simple English 森崎ウィンです。毎週金曜日は怪盗紳士ルパンの名作をお届けします。今日は The Queen's Necklace 女王の首飾り第3話。伯爵が開催するランチ会でなぜ首飾りが盗まれたのか、青年フロリアーニが見事な推理を披露します。侵入口は小窓からだったと。さあ、真実はいかに？ Let's dive into the story!
The Count rushed to the door and ran to the closet in his bedroom. No one spoke a word. The silence seemed to make the situation even more meaningful, like an answer was going to be found. Finally, the Count returned. His face was pale, and his voice shook as he said,
You were right. There was a hole at the side of the window.
The Count grabbed Floriani's arm and ordered him to continue talking.
Go on. Tell us the rest of your theory.
In my opinion, the thief must have put a ladder from Henriette's room to your room while you and the Countess were at the party. Then, he must have watched you hide the necklace through the window. When you went to sleep, he cut the side of the window, put an iron stick through the hole, and pulled the ring to open the small window. Then he went through it.
Impossible! That window is too small for any man to get through.
Then it was not a man, but a child.
What?
Henriette had a young son, didn't she? He was about 6 or 7 years old.
Yes. His name was Raoul.
Then Raoul is your thief.
Do you have any proof?
There's lots of proof. For example, people do not pay attention to a child carrying a ladder. And the ladder could easily be made from shelves in Henriette's room.
There were 2 shelves, if I remember correctly.
And there must have been a stove for cooking. So, I am sure you will find an iron stick that they used to build a fire. Raoul used it to pull the ring.
Without saying a word, the Count left the room again. And no one was surprised when he returned and said,
It was the child. Everything was just as Floriani said.
The Countess interrupted.
It must have been the mother. She must have made the child do it.
No, the mother had nothing to do with it.
And the necklace? Why was it not found among the child's things?
Unlike his mother, he had been out. He went to school, right? So when you went to Henriette's room, he had just come home from school. The police should have looked at the child's school desk and his books.
The Countess spoke again.
How do you explain about the money Henriette received? It is proof she did it with her son.
If she were part of the robbery, do you think she would have written to you? Would she have thanked you? No one thought about the child, so he was free to move around. He must have exchanged the diamonds for money and sent it to his mother year after year.
Floriani's voice made everyone nervous. The gentleman was not just confident about his theory, but it seemed like he saw the Drusubises as enemies.
フロリアーニ、すごいよ。なんでここまで言えるの？てか、何者？てか、すごく、まだルパン出てきてないよね。ルパンどこ？もしかしてこれって、伯爵家にすごく敵対視してましたよね。どういうこと？もう気になってしょうがない。それでは make sure to join us next Monday.